It's the French Goombag, and here are 5 reasons why Unai Emery should be sacked as Arsenal manager right now, even if we beat Leicester City tomorrow. And before we go on with the video, please do press a like, comment on the thing, and subscribe if you're feeling the content. Reason number 1, no goals from open play. There is no structure, there is no pattern to our play, there is no system that allows us to build up from the back and score from open play at Arsenal Football Club. If you look at the majority of the goals we've scored, let's say this season, they've all either been set pieces, scrappy from transitions. Okay, transition goals are open play, granted, but it's not like we are creating chances through our passing quality because we're putting teams around. They make a mistake, we capitalize on it. Now that would be fine if it worked every time we played a game, but in most of our last league games and in the Europa League, most of the goals have been from set pieces. Let's look at it. Most recent game, Vitória SC, Pepe free kick, header. Bournemouth, a corner, David Luiz header, Pepe again. Wolverhampton, we scored a rare play from open goal, amazing. Sheffield United, 0 fucking goals scored. Crystal Palace, 2 goals from set pieces, both from corners, both central defenders scoring. And of course, our last game against Vitória, a couple of beautiful Pepe free kicks. So in Arsene Wenger's last 47 games, a season and a half in which we hounded him out of the club, rightfully so because it was time for change, his Arsenal actually scored more goals and conceded less goals than Unai Emery's first 47 games. I mean, if that doesn't tell you that Unai Emery needs to go, I don't know what else will. We chased Arsene Wenger out for doing better than what this man is doing. He needs to go now. Reason number 2, Unai Emery is not getting enough out of this team of players. What does that point to? Bad coaching. Very simply in football, a coach should be getting his players to play above their individual level of skill. If you have a bunch of players that are mid-table players, let's say, individually, a good coach should have them playing slightly above that. Let's say a bunch of players who are probably going to be on an individual skill set in a bottom half of the table team. A good coach will make them finish in the top half of the table. An example that comes to mind right now is Chris Wilder. They were in the championship last season, and right now they're in 6th place. Why? Good coaching. Good coaching makes a team perform better than the sum of their parts. A few more examples. 3, in fact. Jurgen Klopp. He has got a fantastic team underneath him, but I truly believe that they are performing above the sum of their individual components because of a quality structure and quality coaching. Examples of this are people like James Milner doing the Mbappe celebrations, possibly on the way to winning the Premier League. Jordan Henderson lifting the European Cup, Champions League. I mean, these players individually are not necessarily top elite players in Europe. Very good players, but not necessarily top elite. However, a good coach will get the best out of them. Frank Lampard. Quite a few of his players came up from the Championship last season. They've lost their best player, they've got a transfer ban, but they are performing above expectation. You could say there's no pressure, etc. But at the end of the day, quality coaching is taking place at Chelsea Football Club. Brendan Rodgers is another example. Leicester City, performing incredibly well at the moment. If you look at their underlying metrics, their XG suggests that they should be lower than they currently are. But quality coaching is making that team play better than the sum of its components. To hearken to earlier examples, we all remember how Ferg used to win the league with these teams that you wouldn't recognise half the names on the sheet. That is quality coaching, making average players play like league winners. Has Unai Emery done that as Arsenal? No, he hasn't. In fact, you could say that he's making the team perform less well than the sum of their parts. Let's look at it objectively. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, top scorer in the Premier League last season, 40 goals a season in Dortmund, top boy, baller. Now, you could say, yeah, sure, if he was top scorer in the league, doesn't that mean Emery was getting the most out of him? No, I don't think so. I think he could be scoring a lot more goals. The reason he scored so many is because he's very clinical and he's just that good. He doesn't have many chances in a game. If we were to have the same shots on goal as, say, Watford did playing against us, well, he would have a lot more goals in a season. We are not maximising his potential. Nicola Pepe, we're not playing to his strengths. At Lille, he got all of his goals by running into defence with the ball in front of him, running behind the lines. Whereas now he's expected to come from deep, play past 2 or 3 players and then get on the end of his own chances that he started in our own half. Sure, a player can adapt, but a good coach builds the team around the best players to maximize their potential. Mesut Ozil, sure, he might not be at the peak of his powers anymore, but are you telling me that we can't be getting more out of him than we currently are? I don't buy that.
I just fly off to Japan.
Reason number 3, the football hurts my eyes. Sometimes I just want to take my glasses off so I can't even see what's going on. I mean, just look at this passing map from Victoria. Need I say more? One pass into the box against a team that struggles to beat semi-professionals in their own league. I'm actually lost for words. There's not much to say about that one. It hurts to watch. Any Arsenal fan who's been watching the football knows exactly what I'm talking about. Reason number 3, the football hurts my eyes. Reason number 4, we have some good young players. They could be wasted if we don't use them correctly. The ability of young players is maximized by putting them into a good structure with experienced players around them and good coaching. We've already established that Emery's coaching at Arsenal is subpar. What does that mean for the young players? We've heard directly from their mouths that they don't always understand what he's saying. He's not the clearest of communicators. You can say there's a language barrier there as well. One thing is sure, the communication isn't working. And the young players are coming out and saying that they actually asked Freddie Ljungberg what to do after hearing Unai Emery's thoughts because they don't really know what he said. Now, the other danger here, we've seen a lot of bright young talent come into this side and they've slowly started to fade a little bit recently. Of course, that's normal with a lot of young players. It's a roller coaster, but they do need to have that support. Players like Bukayo Saka, very bright coming in Europa League and in the Premier League, just more recently started to fade a little bit and started to be a bit worried. Joe Willock, fantastic coming in, but it just seems that he's being asked to do a lot of running around. You're not really seeing what the game plan is for young Joe. The worry there, as with all of these young players, is that we end up misusing them and over-relying on them. Even Martinelli, for example, we shouldn't be relying on him as much as we have appeared to recently. I can't remember if it was Sheffield, if it was Crystal Palace, if it was Wolves, all dire performances, but we've thrown on the youngsters at the end of the game when we need a goal. Now, if that was the Carabao Cup or, Europa League even, throwing on Martinelli to try and get a goal. But when we've got players like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Nicola Pepe, we shouldn't be throwing on Martinelli to try and score. That's a lot of pressure for a young player. And ultimately, you wonder if Unai Emery is really doing what is best for them or if he's trying to use them to save his own job at this point. I think there's a danger of misusing them, and then the further danger there is a value depreciation over time. These young players and for a self-sustaining model, value depreciation is very bad. We need our assets to continuously become more valuable. If they're being misused, they won't play as well. If they don't play as well, their value will decrease, or at least not increase proportional to their talent. And we can't afford to be wasting any of these young talents at Arsenal Football Club when we can't really afford to buy players. Reason number 5 that I think Unai Emery needs to go, even if we beat Leicester, is missing out on the Champions League for the 4th season in a row. Let's just say we lose to Leicester tomorrow. 9 points off the top 4 after 12-13 games. Is that why we sacked the best manager in our history? The most successful manager in our history? To be 9 points off the top 4 after 13 games? I don't think so. £45 million less in terms of what we can bring in as a football club now. A self-sustaining model really needs that extra 45 M's. It's 6 M's to get rid of Emery now. 39 M profit. Get him out now and have someone come in who can get us into that Champions League position. The perils of missing out on this competition again, arguably financial, but also status related. Think about bringing in players. Are players really going to want to come to a team that has really firmly cemented itself as a Europa League contender now, 4 seasons in a row? We won't be able to bring in these quality players, and it does look like at the moment Unai Emery is not going to be capable of getting us top 4. If that is the case, why wait? Get rid of him now and try and arrest the slide. These players, for me, I still believe they are the 3rd best set of players in the league in terms of a squad overall. I believe they're better than Chelsea's squad, and I believe they're better than Leicester's squad, but we might be 9 points behind them. We need to get rid of this manager immediately if we want to rescue the season and get into the top 4 and get Champions League. And I rest my case. That's 5 reasons why Unai Emery should be sacked now, even if we beat Leicester. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Please do like the video. Comment your opinions below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. It's the French Goonbag. I'm out.
Last link for the cookies was a scientist with this weed, so I'm buying it like it's free. When I'm tired and I had no sleep, I ain't really got no faith, but man, I have to make this leap.